Hi guys, it's me, Skylar Capri, and today we're talking about some of the most unique past fall Bath & Body Works fragrances. I recently did a discontinued fall favorites for Bath & Body Works maybe a week or two ago, and on that video I asked if you guys would be interested in hearing about some of the more unique past fall fragrances, and a lot of you said you'd love a video on it. So that is exactly what we're doing today. Now if you're returning to my channel, welcome back, and if you're new here, welcome. We do all things body care on my channel, so if that sounds like something interesting to you, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Without further ado, let's dive right on into the video. All right, you guys, I'm going to sit on this side of the screen and put some images up right here. Now, I do apologize if the quality of this video is a little bit lackluster. It is raining very hard outside, so if you're able to hear it in the background noise or the lighting gets really weird, it's been either really cloudy and dark and then it brightens up a little bit, but it might go back to really cloudy and dark. So just wanted to throw that out there. I will try my best when I'm editing to kind of mitigate all of that, but as I do film with 100% natural light, I feel like that's just the best lighting. It is sometimes a little bit weather dependent, and so I apologize if the quality is not what it usually is. That said though, let's start diving into these most unique fall Bath & Body Works fragrances. We're going to start all the way back in 2013. Now this fragrance is called Napa Autumn Blackberry, and I love the majority of fragrances that have a blackberry, black raspberry style note to them. I feel like it is such a distinct fragrance. It's not your just typical berry. I often find it's a little bit deeper, juicier, and just very beautiful for the fall months. Now, why this is mentioned in my most unique past fall Bath & Body Works fragrances is, let me just hold your hand as I walk you through the scent notes, because there is a lot going on with this one. This one has notes of succulent Napa blackberry, zesty mandarin, honeysuckle, and it's touched with a hint of raspberry and cocoa. We have a lot of different scent stories that I don't necessarily think in my mind I would throw all into one fragrance. We have our fruity notes from the raspberry, the blackberry, we have citrus from the zesty mandarin, we have floral from the honeysuckle, and then we have a touch of gourmand from the cocoa. But you know what? In this one, it just works. It's the perfect amount of kind of deepness and fruity, perfect for fall. I also absolutely love the packaging of this one. This is such a nostalgic packaging to me. So I think overall, while this fragrance had a lot going on, there was just something that worked in it. And sometimes when you see those 5, 6, 7 scent stories, you're like, okay, that's probably way too much. And sometimes it is. Other times it just works. This was a great fruity fall blend with a little bit more of a floral touch to it, sort of similar to something like the peony in a Girlfriend. I wouldn't necessarily consider Girlfriend to be a floral, but something about, I don't know if it's spine-chilling citrus, oh, I think it's petrifying peony is the exact scent note for it. It's something about that peony that just adds kind of this like flow to it, not necessarily a creaminess by any means. It just kind of melts all the fragrances together and adds a softness, and I feel like that's what the honeysuckle does in this one. One of the most unique fragrances though, I thought it was super fun, and there are rumors that we are going to be getting a blackberry themed fragrance in fall too. If you are interested in more of these spoilers, the Bath & Body Works news, definitely stay tuned on my channel for this weekend. I have about 3 or 4 spoiler videos going up that I am so excited to film. Now jumping forward, we're going to go then to 2017. I thought 2017 was a great year for Bath & Body Works fall, and it really was more of an ingredients-based collection. I think this is the collection that had a lot to do with honey, which I thought was super fun. We also got some really cute packaging. I do think this was the year that this champagne apple and honey bubble bath came in an actual like bear, almost like honey you would buy at the store, and I remember that being super cute. I think it was 2017. But the fragrance we have to talk about is Hello Autumn, and this is salted caramel apricot. Now, not only does Bath & Body Works, I honestly can't think of a direct apricot fragrance. I can think of peach, I can think of clementine, I can think of orange. Can't really think of anything apricot, but it's apricot and salted caramel, not just caramel, salted caramel. Now this one had notes of buttery caramel, sea salt, apricot brandy, maplewood, and vanilla bean. Again, similar to the Napa Autumn Blackberry, something in this one just works. I think Apricot is such a beautiful fragrance. It's not as bright and zesty as something like a mandarin, as something like a clementine, making it just a little bit more toned down for the fall time. And as you can see in the scent notes, it's not just like ripe apricot or zesty apricot. Instead, it's apricot brandy, which again adds that kind of smoothness to the fragrance. The buttery caramel in this one is really good. The sea salt gives it more of a complex element, not just straight gourmand. It kind of deepens the fragrance a little bit. And then the maplewood and vanilla bean smooth everything out. I think this is a really interesting one. I don't know if this one comes back in the candle pretty consistently. I'm not too well versed on the candles like I am the body care, but I do believe that this one would be a fun one to see back in the body care in the future. Now we're going to go to 2019, and we actually have one that I think is fairly unique, and the other one is an honorable mention simply because we never see that scent story. Starting out with the first one, we have toasted praline and pear, and this one is notes of Bartlett pear, brown sugar, almond cream, vanilla praline, and toasted hazelnut. Now, I want to say the closest thing we've seen to this in recent times is the gingerbread scent from last year, which I think was gingerbread swirl, maybe? It was an online exclusive, so I'm having trouble remembering the exact name, but there's actually a slight pear note in that one, although I really don't think it comes out in that one too much. I think it was spiced gingerbread swirl now that I'm thinking about it. However, this toasted praline and pear is equal amounts pear and equal amounts of this warm, gooey, brown sugar, almond, praline. It has a little bit of nuttiness from the hazelnut. It's such a nice balance. It's such a nice take on a fall fruity. Usually, sometimes when we think of fall fruity, everybody runs to apple or everybody runs to the fruity notes in something like a Ghoul Friend, which is a dark strawberry, or a Vampire Blood, which is a petrifying plum and red berries. However, I feel like pear is really understated. They do it really well at Bath & Body Works in the body care. I think like Gingham Fresh in the springtime, which has that pear note, translating that and making that one more into a fall adjacent style fragrance, I think is what you get with something like a toasted praline and pear. It's replacing those floral notes with instead these warm, creamy, buttery maple sugar, vanillas, pralines, and nuttiness from the hazelnut. I think this one is such a wonderful blend, especially if you're not a big fan of apple. I feel like if you're not a big fan of apple and the Halloween stuff is just not for you, you want something a little bit more traditional fall, it can be hard to find. That's why I thought this one was super unique and I'd love to see it back. Honorable mention from 2019. This is not in my top 5, but it is an honorable mention, and that is going to be sugared cranberry cider. Now, they do a lot of cranberry fragrances when it comes to candles, when it comes to pocket bags, when it comes to the home care. However, we very rarely see this one as a central fragrance in the body care. Now, this one had notes of wild cranberries, juicy mulberries, plum blossoms, and velvet musk. Again, very similar to what I was saying with the toasted praline and pear. It just gives you something else as opposed to more of your traditional dark strawberry, your petrifying plum and red berries, or your champagne apple and honey. That's not a pumpkin fragrance. I really like cranberry. I think Bath & Body Works does some really good berry fragrances. For example, Winterberry Wonder I think's phenomenal. I was really confused why that one didn't come back out last year for the winter time, but it did come out as a Christmas and July exclusive for semi-annual sale. Really hoping we see that one back in the winter time because, again, if you're just not a fan of those more traditional seasonal scents, whether in fall it's apples, pumpkins, spices, deep vanillas, or around the holiday time it's more of those peppermint notes, maybe those cocos, strawberry snowflakes isn't for you, that kind of realm isn't for you, something like a sugared cranberry cider can still be very seasonally relevant without being one of those more popular scent stories, which is why this one is an honorable mention and one I'd like to see back. The next one we have is going to be from 2020. This one is very unique and also comes from a collection that I would honestly love to see back. They wouldn't even need to repackage this, as I think the original packaging is phenomenal. And that is going to be Sparkling Plum Prosecco. Now this one has notes of juicy purple plums, wild blackberry, and sparkling citrus. I really like that they just kept this to blackberries and plums and then added the citrus on top. There's no red berries, there's There's no super heavy gourmand fragrance in this. There's nothing kind of musky in this. There's just something about it that is just so plum, blackberry, citrus. It's not bubbly. It's not like a champagne toast, but it just has this nice brightness to it while still being one, again, of those fall fruities that doesn't go overly traditional. I honestly think a lot of people would really love to see this one back. I think it would make for a great fall intro to fall fragrance. And I do feel like people are trending sort of in the realm of different berries or just avoiding berries altogether. I feel like we have seen a lot of berry fragrances, more traditional, more kind of basic, mainstream berry fragrances at Bath & Body Works the last couple of years, especially in the more traditional lines. So I think this would be, although it is a berry at its core, making it a little bit more introducible to mass market. I do think there is something in that juicy purple plum and sparkling citrus that makes this one different. It's still likable. I think a lot of people would really like this fragrance as it is more of a scent story they're familiar with, but it's not going to be something that everybody has in their collection, which I think is starting to get rarer and rarer when it comes to fragrance. Would absolutely love to see this one back. Now, my last fragrance I have for some of the most unique fall Bath & Body Works fragrances has to go to this one in 2021. We saw it once. I doubt we'll ever see it again, and that is going to be Coconut Candy Apple. Yes, you heard me right. That was a fall fragrance that they released amongst a lineup of some others, but that one had notes of candied red apple, shredded coconut, and vanilla spice. This one is very different. It's very hit or miss. I feel like people either love it or hate it. It's not like something that it's like, oh, okay, that's agreeable. I could probably get behind it. For me personally, I have just really grown away from liking coconut in my fragrances. I don't know if it's because I went through a phase of really using coconut, whether it was Waikiki Beach coconut, whipped coconut milkshake, coconut cream pie. What's the other coconut one I had? It was frosted coconut snowball. Like, I feel like I used coconut so much to the point, fresh coconut and cotton. Like, I used it so much to the point I was like, okay, I'm done with this. So I don't know if that's why I'm kind of turned off of this fragrance, but also I think apple you have to be careful with. And for me, when it comes to apple, I either want it to be a bright green, fresh apple, or I want it to be a true candied or true caramel apple. The coconut in this one personally just throws me off a little bit, but some people really think the combination is great. It's this weird kind of mix. It's a great transitional fragrance from summer into the fall time. Love the packaging though. I think the packaging is very cute on this one, but for me personally, just a little bit too unique for me. And this was not one that I ended up picking up. But you guys, that really wraps up some of the most unique past fall Bath & Body Works fragrances. Are any of these things on the list something that you would pick up now, or all of these just a little bit too much out of your wheelhouse? You think you'd prefer to just stick with the normal seasonal and fall traditions? As always, let me know in the comments down below, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video, found it helpful, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye guys!